I want to mention smartypig.com. Do you know about them? It's a free online piggy bank. You can save for your kids' tuition. Check them out. smartypig.com.
All right. So today I have the great opportunity of speaking with Jadah Sellner of simplegreensmoothies.com. I discovered you probably maybe 6, 7, 8 months ago. And I discovered you because of your, you land on your page and you want to jump in and bite it. Like, that was my reaction.
Thank you.
I'm very visual, and you make everything look so amazing, and like it just feeds me. So awesome. I love that. And then I was introduced to you by another mom entrepreneur, which is so cool.
Yes.
I love how this works. It just sounds great. So Giada, I want to know who you are, kids, and, how this happened. Let's start there.
Okay. Well, my name is Giada, and I'm a mama and a wife. I have a 6-year-old daughter named Zoe, and I am the co-founder of simplegreensmoothies.com. And we've helped in 1 year, we've helped over 300,000 people commit to drinking one green smoothie a day with a focus on plant-based recipes. And kind of now I'm also experimenting with helping moms, world-changing moms, build businesses that they're passionate about as well. So that's some of the work that I do with Michelle at Bloom Retreat. And it's important work. And I think for me, what my work is really about is helping people say yes to themselves. So whether that's the breakfast that they put in their body every day, being a green smoothie, or that they just feel really passionate and excited about the work that they're doing in the world.
Wow. So. How did you come up with this idea? It's like, there's a lot of green drink people out there, and a lot of, what makes you different, and how did you come up with this idea?
Yes. So it's interesting because when I first started in the online world, which was in 2011, I started a parenting website with my business partner called familysponge.com. And so we kind of wrote about everything parenting, just positive parenting, eco-friendly, unplugging, using arts with recycled goods, and also healthy eating, so green smoothies. And I was actually introduced to green smoothies when I started that website, and I was addicted. My daughter was addicted. My husband was addicted. I shared it with my business partner, and then she was addicted to green smoothies. So it was one of those things where we knew we wanted to share about it and kind of create some kind of green smoothie 101. But we really thought it was going to be on our parenting website, that we would just kind of make these kid-friendly green smoothies and that families would be super excited about it. So I started an Instagram account in July of 2012, and I just started posting green smoothie recipes, kind of getting people excited about this ebook or guide that we were going to write about green smoothies for our parenting website. And people really resonated with the recipes that we were posting, and we grew really fast. Like within a few months, we had 30,000 followers on Instagram.
Wow.
And it was just, fitness and health blog, Instagram accounts kind of giving us a shout out and saying, check out these recipes. And when you ask, what's different about us, and we will definitely say that we really put the beginner in our mind. That's who we're targeting and who we're connecting with, is how do we make plant-based recipes easy and accessible for someone who has never eaten spinach in their life, or kale for that matter.
Right.
So I remember when I was first introduced to green smoothies, didn't want to drink it because, one, it was green, and I was freaking out. I tasted it, and then I was like, oh, it's good. It's actually really good, but it looks gross. And so I wanted to remake it because I loved the taste of it, and it was exciting to put fruits and vegetables in my body, but how do I make it? And everyone that was saying how you make it is you throw in a handful of this, a pinch of that. And I was like, no, I'm freaking out. I need to know how much. Is it 1 cup? Is it 2 cups? Is it 3 cups? So I can really say that we were the first people to actually put exact measurements to green smoothie recipes. And so that made us stand out and made it really easy for someone to not freak out on making a smoothie. So using exact measurements, and then also photos. So,
yes.
you know, totally look up to Victoria Butenko with Green for Life and those pioneers of the green smoothie movement, but they were just textbooks and there were no pictures. And then if people did pictures, they were stock photos or they were pictures of a glass of green sludge. And so that's not appealing for a beginner either. So that was another thing that I came up with was I started taking pictures of raw ingredients. So what is going inside the smoothie? Beautiful, vibrant mangoes and strawberries and leafy greens. All of a sudden it looks amazing and I want that in my body. So that's really, we kind of basically made it very visual and appealing for a beginner to basically drink their first green smoothie.
It's so delicious. You've done such an amazing job with that. I cannot. You do really stand out in that. It's
Thank you.
amazing. So how you have a daughter?
Yes.
Zoe.
Yes.
And she's now 6. So then she was 3.
Yeah. So 2012. Yeah, she was like 3.5. Of building the business. So she's a preschooler. So and she was going to preschool for like 3 hours a day. And there was some times where there was a point where she wasn't in preschool and I was just watching her. So it was always juggling.
Yeah.
And my husband worked full time. So really building the online business happened with his support of like, as soon as he comes home, like, please help me. Please watch her so I can get this work done or after bedtime. So that's kind of how balancing it. And some things that really helped with that was being very confident and excited about the project that I was working on. You know, as I was hoping to like start monetizing and making money within a few months, like, oh, I'll get it. And that's everyone's kind of the myth behind it all. Yeah. And even though I kept kind of studying, I would get discouraged, you know, because it's like, I didn't make any money. We're doing this advertising model. We've got these beautiful graphics and like no one's buying into this and there's got to be another way. So just being confident and figuring it all out. Like I felt like I was going to figure it out. I didn't know when. And I let my husband know that. Like I feel really confident that we're helping people and we're making a difference. And so I just need your support. So I was really big. And I tell people that all the time, to be confident in the projects that you're working on so that people will rally behind you and support that idea.
It's such a good point. That is, confidence can make or break a deal, I feel.
Yeah.
It will. So from the Instagram, I guess that's kind of where it started.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
to actually having a website. Like how long was that process?
Yeah, so we started the Instagram account in July of 2012, and we didn't launch the website until November of 2012. So we're only a year old. Our website's only a year old, yeah. Yeah.
So I caught you before anything, like really before you were even trending.
Yeah. I mean, we started,
awesome.
Yeah. So so with the Instagram, I realized that it wasn't just moms that were following these recipes, because remember we had a parenting website. Yep. So I told my business partner, I said, if we create this ebook for Green Smoothie 101 and we sell it on our parenting website, people from Instagram are going to be so confused. Like, why are all these arts and crafts and parenting things? And I was like, I think we have to start another website just for these green smoothies, because it was what people wanted. They wanted these recipes. They wanted more from us. So we basically hustled for like those few months to get a website up and going, creating copy and writing and doing all of this research really, really quickly. And in that time, we started a Facebook account. So we were kind of telling people like, hey, follow us on Facebook. And then once the website was ready, we're like, hey, come sign up for our website and join our email list with this Green Smoothie 101. Kind of, we did a free guide for them to kind of help them join our email list. So, yeah. And
that's really quick.
Yeah. And so in December is when we actually wanted to partner with another site that did green smoothies and juicing and healthy recipes. We're like, hey, would you guys like to partner on a 30, like a green smoothie challenge? And they didn't respond to us. And so we were like, and we did all this work. We kind of like prepped it. And, Jen, my business partner, is an amazing designer with graphics. So we're kind of we wanted to ride on their coattails of like, they had a really good Facebook following. So we were like, hey, like we have Instagram, you guys have Facebook, and we have amazing design. Let's partner.
Sure.
And we were actually, it would have been all on their email list, on their website. And we just kind of wanted our names to be attached to it. And they didn't respond. And so we were like, well, we already like did all this work. Like, let's just do it on our own then. And that was like the big like turning point for us. If we had not done that, if they had not ignored us, we would have been like helping them blow up. And instead, when we did the 30-day challenge, we just grew. Every time we do a 30-day green smoothie challenge, we double our social media following, we double our email list size. Like, it's a huge thing. And so we do that 4 times a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
You guys are hustling. So you have a partner. So let's talk about that real quick, because I love partners, and they work for some people and they don't work for some people. Let's find out about your partner.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool because we met in 2007. We were both in a meetup moms group together called the Valley Moms Social Club. And her child was like a little bit younger than mine. So mine was kind of crawling, walking around, and hers was just like rolling around on the blankets. So we were in the same moms group, but we weren't super close friends. We just saw each other every week at the park. And she did like a logo for our meetup group. And I was like, wow, I really like your stuff. And then I saw some of her websites that she did. And so I said, one day I'm going to use you for something. I don't know what, but I just love your style. And that was it, 2007. And by 2008, I had moved to Kauai. She moved to Florida. And we were just Facebook friends. That was it. We weren't like keep in touch type of buddies. We never hung out at either of each other's houses or anything like that. And I would just see her post like new website designs. And then I came up with this idea to create a parenting newsletter. And I just wanted her to design a little header. That's it. That's all I wanted. And she's like, $75. I'll give you it for half price. And so she designed out this newsletter for me. And I was like, I want to talk about potty training and just so much different stuff. And she asked me she's like, I've always wanted to start something similar to this, like a blog, a parenting blog. And would you be interested in partnering? And I was like, my first instinct was like, no, this is my idea. And so I talked to my husband about it, and he's like, yeah, like I kind of was like, I want all the money that I'm going to make one magical day. So I didn't want to share. And that was like my initial response. I didn't tell her that, but I talked to my husband, and we kind of just prayed about it. And she's actually a pastor's wife and stuff. And so he's like, I think like her heart's in a good place. She's not going to try to screw you over or do anything like that. And so I said, yes, let's do it. And that was the beginning of our relationship, was like probably summer of 2012 where we kind of, or 2011, where we started kind of brainstorming on starting this website called Family Sponge. And now it's grown into this business that is created a full-time income for both of us. My husband's been able to quit his job. And we have a team that we support, and they support us, and it's amazing. Like, we gave them Vitamix bonuses just for being on our team and for being awesome. And so it's cool. We have this full-time business that we love, that is spreading health and energy and happiness to like the world, and it feels really good.
And she lives in Florida. You said?
Yes.
And are you here? You're in the Bay Area?
I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area. I'm in Walnut Creek. Yeah. So everything we do is like Google Hangouts is our best friend. Google Docs, where we, jam with each other, and we create all these products and stuff just through headpieces.
So fantastic.
Yeah. And it's one of the things when we talking about the partnership, when we agreed, was we sent an email kind of, here's what I will contribute. Here are the expectations. And so it's so funny because not that long ago I read over it, and we still do that exact same equal contribution, where she's like the branding, design strategy, web design, she handles that side. And so she makes everything look beautiful and pretty. And then I'm kind of the community building, social media, marketing, and how do we make money off of this site.
That's
to support our families.
That's great. And do you guys have a legal document in place?
Now we didn't have one in the beginning. It was just an email agreement. And then once we started making money this year in January, we develop an LLC and all of that good stuff and trademarking.
Yep.
So
excellent. Oh, I love that. That's fantastic. I mean, because your business partner, it's like you're married to them, right? Like,
yeah. Oh, we say it is such a marriage because we're dealing with finances. Yeah. We have a bookkeeper helping us out, but it's totally a marriage in business for sure.
Yeah, that's incredible. I love that. Yeah. So it sounds like your husband has helped you tremendously, and you have a business partner, and it sounds like you have, who else has helped you?
One of the key parts that I definitely say is like having accountability partners. So I'm a big fan of masterminds, of having a mastermind partner. So even before partnering with Jen, I had a friend that was just my old roommate from LA, and she was looking for the same thing. And I was like, oh my gosh, no one looks for mastermind partners. And so I say that's such a big part of being able to build a business, is having someone who is in your corner cheering you on, but is not necessarily invested in your business. They don't make any money from it, but they can just give you all of these ideas and outside things. So I've always had mastermind partners to brainstorm with. And Michelle, who you talked with before, she's like my business soul sister. So we mastermind. We try to do like every other week, and we get together at a coffee shop and we just jam on our businesses and give each other ideas for, next steps. Now, one of my big dreams was to be able to have kind of like a more like high level coach to kind of push me to the next level. So that's what I have now. That person I talk to once a week, and just also works on anything from balancing my life like that with business. So it's not all about business. So it's like, oh, you should be doing yoga and taking care of your vitality and those things. Because I think as mompreneurs, we can be very motivated, become workaholics, and almost that becomes an escape to like, well, hey, I'm doing this thing and I'm building this business. Like, I don't need to be with my kids right now, or I can't handle that. I'm just going to be on the computer. So being very aware to like shut down and unplug, that's something that I have to work really hard on because I love what I do. So that coach really helps me to keep, why am I doing this work? It's the whole reason was to have a freedom business where I can volunteer in my daughter's classroom, where I can do my work from anywhere in the world, and to make sure that I'm still honoring my husband and my daughter's needs too. Yeah,
I love that. I completely say yes on coach. I love that. And mastermind, one of the things that we do is actually we have a mastermind group here in San Francisco that we, accountability, and we have a virtual aspect of that as well. And the women that I find that do it, the landmarks of success are nailed every single time, right? It's incredible to watch.
Yeah, because you have to show up. Yeah. You have to show up.
I love
someone's waiting for you to complete your deadline.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So tell me about a defining moment or an aha moment that you've had.
Yeah. I would definitely say defining moment is saying yes to a business partnership. And then I would say a defining moment is basically when we sold our first ebook. So we had been hustling, trying to get sponsorships, and we had this beautiful, well-designed media kit, and, approaching all of these big name brands, and, just like $150 or something or anything. And that's like, we weren't getting any traction with that. And we had tons of affiliate links and all these things that you're like, this is how you monetize a blog. And so the defining moment was when we rallied the community to commit to drinking green smoothies every day for 30 days in January of 2013, this year, when we sold that first ebook. So we did that really quickly. We had a Green Smoothie 101 ebook in mind. Then we started listening to our audience, and they're just like, we just want the recipes that you're sending us every week packaged so that we have it for the future. So we're like, let's just do that. So
they told you what you want. They wanted. Yeah.
And so we've learned much more from that to keep asking our audience what they want. And that's how we create all of our products now. Yep. And so it took us about 3 weeks, maybe 2.5 to 3 weeks, where we were hustling to put this ebook together that our community was asking for. And we created this deadline. It's like, we need to launch this before the challenge is over, because then they're not listening to us anymore. Like, this is our first time having so many ears listening to our every move. So being able to do that so quickly, create a product that quickly in such a short amount of time, and so much like pressure, and and then we launched, and in that first week we did $8,000 in sales on a $5 ebook. And so for me, that was our defining moment of like, we just made money. We just paid ourselves back for all the money we invested in our business for the past, year and a half. And we have something to actually take home too. So from that point on, we've generated 5 figures a month plus every month since we launched that first ebook. So that was, for me, that I can say is, if you can create your own product, like, that's the easiest thing that you could possibly sell. You can try to sell advertising and sell your property on your website, or sell somebody else's product. But when you create something that responds to like what your community wants from you, what they're asking you about, and you created it, so it's good and you've experienced it, and it's from your unique perspective, people are going to love that so much more. So it was a joy to create, it was a joy to give, and it was a joy to receive value coming back to us. So
total market validation.
That
is a complete defining moment. Thank you for sharing that. That's completely. How about some failures throughout this, the last kind of year and a half that you've been doing this for shorter time?
Trying to think. It's hard for me with failure, because I'm definitely the person that never looks at anything as failure. Like I love the quote of like, I win or I learn, but I never lose. So for me, everything is like, okay, that happened. How do I do it a little bit differently next time so it doesn't happen again? Because I started a brick and mortar business in Kauai, and a lot of people, and it was kind of something we had to shut down. And people could look at that as a failure. It was like, you opened up your doors and you did these things. And to me, it was like, I can do anything. I just opened a business. Like, those are people's dreams, is to move to Hawaii, to have their own business. And I did all of these things before the age of 30. So to be able to, I just turned 30 this year, which is awesome. So I'm definitely happy for this decade in my life. So I'm trying to think of a failure.
Big challenges.
Challenges, definitely kind of trying to do it all. So that's kind of what Jen and I, we were definitely doing every possible role in the business. So when we launched that first ebook, we didn't really have the capacity to respond to our community. And it was kind of becoming draining in a very quick amount of, like, it was such a short amount of time to go from not selling anything to selling something. So that was a challenge for us to handle the demand and like responding to kind of more of the payment issues and things, and still staying engaged with our community, which is how we grew so fast. So for what we did was we hired a part-time assistant like ASAP. So a lot of people, I think, wait a long time. I think I have a lot of intuitive decision-making things that I do within my business so that I don't burn out. And so avoiding burnout in the business, right when it's like making us money, I was like, this is not sustainable. Like this, like responding to customer service questions for a $5 ebook and still posting on Instagram and Facebook, it wasn't sustainable. It was very tiring, and also it was hard for us to read if someone was like, maybe they're like, I didn't get it, and they're like angry. And so I was like, I can't do this, I'm too sensitive. And so having someone come and support us in that way to take that weight off of us, so we can still jump in and do what we need to and what we love, but also let someone else handle it for us, so that we're not taking on the burden all by ourselves, so that we can still be fully present and happy and create beautiful things for our community.
Any big fears that you have faced going through all this?
For sure. I think for any entrepreneur, when they're out on their own without that consistent, steady paycheck, is like, what's next month going to look like? So we've been really blessed that we've been able to maintain 5 figures a month every month since we launched that first ebook. But the fear is like, when will it stop? Like, when will people say, I don't want this, or I don't like this? So that's a big fear. So we're creating systems in place to make this business sustainable and predictable. And kind of that's why we've created this like 4 times a year. Like, we can't, people want a challenge from us every month, and we just cannot give that. Like, it's a lot of energy. We're really in it. We give our best in that moment. And so we need time to decompress and figure out different strategies or our next product during those downtimes. So so just the fear of being an entrepreneur, of like, you know, having to deal with all of those things of healthcare and different things like that, and taxes. And so it's amazing that we get to like create value and receive money, but it's no one saying you're definitely going to get this amount of money every month. So that's always a little like fear that's like in the back of my head.
Right.
Yeah.
And let's talk about balancing or integrating. Different moms have different terms. So do you feel like you are sustained with your family and your work? Are you balanced right now? Are you getting enough time with your little one and your husband and friends and you, right? Like, Giada needs time too.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah, definitely. I saw this really great video, and it was really talking about blending. So instead of, you know, balancing, like trying to have equal in everything, is that there's a blend that happens where my daughter Zoe becomes a part of my work. You know, like we make green smoothies together, we're taking pictures together. So incorporating, we're traveling together. Maybe I went to New York, and I brought my family with me for the weekend. Nice. So during the week, I was hustling through business meetings and interviews and different things. But on the weekend, we just played, and we went to go see Broadway shows. And so just blending my family life into my business has been kind of how I look at it. And self-care, being so close with Michelle with Bloom Retreat, that is my like sanctuary. So I do yoga and unplug and reconnect with my mind, my body, and take care of me. I get massages, and also just kind of having quiet time for myself. So sometimes I actually overdo it, or I feel like I'm overdoing it. So I'm usually never like equal. It's kind of like I'm in a playful space, and I'm going to take care of myself, and I'm hang out with my girlfriends all week, and I'm in that zone. And then so I finding my natural rhythms of like what feels good for me and my family, because sometimes my husband and my daughter, like they're doing a musical right now. My husband directs children's theater, and so they're doing Oliver. And so they're away at night doing rehearsals and things like that. So that's my time, right? Schedule those moments when my daughter's in school or when they're doing something that I give myself time to hang out with my friends, mastermind with a partner. But I do struggle. I'm a mom, and I'm also a crazy, like addicted. I geek out on business and marketing, and I love it. So I usually need like an accountability partner to remind me to like, did you shut down your computer and did you turn it off? So kind of the things I try to do is experiments of just unplugging and actually physically like powering off my phone and powering off my computer, because then I won't get back on it. But as long as it's like buzzing and it's still around and it's still dinging, like I get drawn to it. So that's kind of what I work on the most, so that I can be present with my daughter. And then I also, in the morning, like I'm addicted to looking at my phone when I wake up. And so what I try to do now is as soon as my daughter wakes up, like put the phone away, and I like kind of just hang out with her while she's getting ready, because my husband helps out with a lot of that stuff now. And I sit with her at the breakfast table. So it used to be where you're like rushing, you're getting things ready, and it's like, oh, I've got emails already, got to answer these. And my daughter's just sitting by herself having breakfast. And I'm like, let me sit with her. So I sit with her while she has breakfast. And then when she comes home, I try to like turn off between 4 and 8 o'clock to just be with her and just hang out and be available. Even if she's like taking a bath, where before I'd be like, oh, this is the perfect time to work. And she's like, just sit with me in here. I'm like, okay. So just working really hard, saying yes and to her for sure. So when she asks for me, I'm there.
Yeah. And do you and your husband get enough time?
Yes, we do. I mean, this business has given us so much time freedom that I'm able to get a lot done really quickly in a short amount of time and not have to do so much. So we go on dates. He actually just surprised me this weekend. It was our 10 years of dating.
Wow.
So we went in the city and we actually got like little tattoos and just fun stuff and eating fancy dinners. So we try to work really hard. Like for me, my love language, one of my favorite books, The 5 Love Languages, is quality time. Good. So I actually like demand to spend time with him. Like I need it or I won't like him anymore. So
no, it's true, right?
So we work really hard to spend time with each other as a couple. Yeah.
That's really great. And any favorite guilty pleasures?
I mean, my carb nemesis is like mashed potatoes and macaroni and cheese. So I think that's one of the funny things is when people want to like take Jen and I out, they take us to all these raw vegan restaurants. I'm like, no, it's just like, I want a New York pizza. So we're real people. Another guilty pleasure is just trying to get like that massage at least once a month to just kind of like unwind and listen to my body. I'm on the computer a lot. So being able to kind of play, just let go and take care of my body in that way. So, yeah.
On a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being awesome, like to the max, right? How do you rate your life?
Oh, I'd say right now I feel like it's like an 11.
Nice.
Yeah. Right. and I think my husband and I both struggle with that right now. I think it's a very interesting thing when you get to a place of these are all the things that I wanted in my life and I have them right now and I don't know how long it will be here. Yeah. Like I'm very clear that there are ups and downs in life and entrepreneurship and all of those things. So I'm really focusing on gratitude and celebration because I really do feel like I have a dream job. I have an amazing supportive husband. I have a daughter who is a bookworm and loves reading chapter books in the first grade. And a crazy wild dog. So I live in a neighborhood that I absolutely love and adore. And I have amazing friends and I travel. Like these are all the things that I've dreamed up in my head and that are happening like out loud. So, yeah.
And one of the questions, it sounds like you probably do this from what you were talking about earlier, but you do yoga and you have some quiet time, right? Would you call that do you have a practice? Do you have a spiritual practice that you kind of maintain every day?
I wouldn't say I'm very connected to my breath.
Okay.
So I feel very grounded in every day that I always come back to my breath and I'm obviously always striving for like the daily meditation practice or the daily yoga, but I don't do any of those every day. The daily journaling, all these things that I aspire to have. But my daily practice is that is love. Like I speak from a place of love and authenticity. So how can I be the best me every day? Like that's always in me, being able to connect with people and really giving value. So that's kind of something I always do. Like I'll be on a meeting where the person's supposed to be helping me. And at the end, they're like, can I hire you to be my consultant? And I'm like, wait, no. Like, I think I had a favor to ask you. So I'm always just trying to give and listen as much as possible. Those I feel like have really contributed to my success is being able to do that. And so that's my daily practice is just to give, listen, and always coming from like a place of love and honesty.
Perfect. The last thing I like to ask mamas, if you could share 2 tips with moms who are out there in the world, you know, moving towards this life.
Yeah.
What would they be?
Number one, which is something that I tell with like my mamas that I work with, helping them with their businesses, is to take imperfect action every single day. Yep. So that's like my thing is nothing has to be perfect, but you have to be doing some type of action that's working towards this ideal dream business or dream life. And to say it out loud, you know, so that you have the universe is listening to you, your friends hear you, your supporters hear what it is that you want. So it's like take the imperfect action and then also asking for help. So I think as mothers, we can be martyrs and we can be the do-it-alls and the multitasking. So I've actually kind of trained myself to let go of all of those things that I used to say are strengths and not multitask and to not try to do it all. So I really am honest with my husband. If it's like, baby, I really need you to like, can you do the dishes? That would make you look so sexy right now. And so just asking for support, like, and looking for it, searching for it. I searched for a mastermind partner. I searched for like a dream coach. I said I wanted these things out loud. So say what it is you want out loud, like make the big ask and see what happens, because we try to hold everything in here and not ask for anything and not take action. You will move nowhere. Yeah. So I say my dreams out loud a lot. So everything that I've ever said out loud usually happens, which is pretty awesome. And it doesn't happen in my time. So that's a big thing is your ask and your imperfect action. You don't know when you're going to get to that end result that you're looking for, but to just keep doing it and it'll come. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, Giada.
You're welcome.
It was really, really great to speak with you. You are definitely my people.
Yay!
I've enjoyed speaking with you, and thank you for all your tips and your wisdom, and so much success with Simple Green Smoothies.
Thank you.
Don't forget about saving your pennies with Smarty Pig.